This is our second Yizkor together digitally. Our second Yizkor in the age of COVID, quarantine, and isolation. And my heart hurts because it's at moments like this when I feel the pains of our separation most. This is when a hug would go a long way. Or if we could just hold hands for a moment and acknowledge how comforting it is to feel someone else when we are missing someone or someone's. It's hard to do this by ourselves. And it's especially hard to honor memory when the expression of that memory looks and feels so different than what we're used to. We need to acknowledge that. We need to validate that. And yet somehow at the same time, we also need to recognize that our obligation of Zachor, our responsibility and our charge to remember, doesn't come with an asterisk directing us to a note that allows us to grieve, to cry, and to say thank you when the world becomes safer and when our lives become easier. Holding off our prayer or praying with any less intention, sincerity, or heart because our situation is frustrating and exhausting misses the point of this moment. In Judaism, struggle is meant to be met with conviction, with fervor, with stubborn defiance. We earn our reputation as a stiff-necked people, not by lamenting and then giving up, but by acquiescing to the unfair and the unjust, and then responding with our devotion, with our enthusiasm, and with our intention multiplied. That is brazen. That's chutzpahdik. That is Jewish. It's not a coincidence that our ancestors chose to attach Yizkor to the Shalosh Regalim, the pilgrimage festivals. Those holy days when we used to travel to the Beit HaMikdash, to the temple, no matter where we were, when we would travel miles to reach the base of Ir HaKodesh, the holy city of Jerusalem, and then climb to reach the Temple Mount with our families, our flocks, our food, and our belongings. For those of you who have taken an Eged or Sheirut to Yerushalayim, especially coming from the north, you know that this was no small feat. Jerusalem is on a mountain. It's rocky, it's steep, and in the end of May, it can be hot. But the journey was all for the sake of something so important, so vital to who we are, that not making it would have been absurd. It was an opportunity to commune with the divine, to transcend the world as it is and elevate ourselves to the world as it could be and as it should be. Today, we're asked to make that journey again. And this time, it looks different. It feels different. And well, it is. It is different. We aren't schlepping sheep and cattle. We aren't traversing rocky paths or braving the desert sun. But we are climbing mountains. And we are pushing ourselves to reach a Temple Mount so that we may present offerings of memory, of blessings, and of gratitude for those lives that have so deeply touched our own. This is a digital pilgrimage. And in some ways, it's harder than a physical one because it's easy to feel proud, appreciative, and emotionally attuned when we have pushed our bodies. But it's something else altogether to push our spirit, our patience, our loneliness, and our mental exhaustion. And unlike the pilgrimages our ancestors made, this one has lasted and will continue to last well beyond what we might feel is within the frame of our ability. But yet, here we are. Yalla, Kadima, moving forward and responding with that sacred stubbornness that makes us who we are. And though it may not always feel like it, let remind us all that right now, as we join together from our respective living rooms, offices, and bedrooms, ready to share our words, our Torah, our memoriam, our tears, we do so from the mountaintop. And as we raise these offerings, we ask God for strength so that our prayer may not be fine or good enough or even normal, but truer, sincerer, and more filled with heart than ever before. Adonai sevatenu tiftach ufienu yagidu tilatecha. Adonai, calm our spirits, strengthen our hearts, and open our lips so that we might journey on, that we might pilgrimage with endurance and love, and that through it all, we may sing your praise. We turn now to our Yizkor service.